Yes, yes, yes. I'm back again. I know y'all probably about tired of me this week, but I don't give a damn. It's your boy, the controversial counselor, live today with another counselor's concern. Also, I have one of my Monday night panel members, Willie A. Price, speaks absolutely nothing but the truth. So last night, I'm strolling through Facebook, and Willie makes a post about these eighth graders that are not graduating, and I don't know how many was it at the time. Was it like only eight or something? In this school 89, is it Lydia T. Wright? So I'm like, huh?
Five.
Yeah, so that kind of shocked me. So I'm like, oh, hit up Willie this morning and say, oh, we got to go live and talk about this. So Willie, man, when you first got that information, what was going through your mind? Are you there? Can you hear me, Willie? I don't know. Seem like we have a disconnection issue. So I'm gonna continue on
Oh boy.
talking. Willie,
Yeah, go ahead. Can you hear me now?
yeah, I can hear you. So I had asked you
Okay.
before
Yeah,
you went out.
I'm on the highway. Yeah.
Before you went out, I had asked you when you first seen that information about the Lydia T. Wright School 89 about that failure. I guess that failure rate for to me moving up to ninth grade. What was your thoughts? All right, he's going in.
Yeah. Well,
He's going in and out. Go
well,
ahead.
when I found when I saw it, I like, I'm yeah, I'm going in and out, and I'm about to get off this highway in a second, but I'm gonna just keep talking. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I'm by all these wires. Okay.
All right, so he'll come
Yeah.
back
No.
in.
Okay. You all right? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Damn. This is
Can, can
okay.
you?
So I'm just gonna talk, but yeah, I'm trying to get off of this highway to get on the. You hear me now,
Yeah, you're going in and
Dave?
out. You're going in and out.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I'm I'm on. Let me see. Hold on one second.
All right, I'm just gonna talk
Yeah,
to
go
when I
ahead and
have.
carry on. Go ahead and talk. Yeah, go ahead and talk, Dave. Go ahead and talk, and then I once I get clear of these wires, I'll jump in.
All right, so yeah, so when Willie made that post, I was like, what? Like, um,
Okay.
I don't know
Did
if
you
he
hear
said,
that?
yeah, yeah, I hear you. So it was like I guess 65 eighth graders at the school, and I don't know, maybe eight or nine actually
Oh boy.
had got promoted to move up. So that was alarming for me because I'm like, okay, 65, and that's kind of a low number, but I assume it's a small school. But nevertheless, where's the accountability piece in that? Because typically, now I work at a middle school, and typically we may have a couple hundred eighth graders, usually more than 200, 225, 250, around there.
How many do
So
y'all have in your
typically,
charter schools, Dave? Is the
well,
charter
we don't
schools
have
big
any.
like that also?
Well, we don't have charter schools
Oh,
in
okay,
Baltimore County, so it's public
okay,
schools. So
okay.
I know
See,
charter
this is a
schools are
charter school,
smaller.
right? This is a charter school. Can you hear me? You hear me pretty good now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm off of away from the Niagara Falls now. Yeah, what you find is that in the charter schools, you may have a total population of maybe 200 students total, and
Hmm.
some might even be lower than that. And it's because in Buffalo, you find that They really try to make it difficult for these charter schools to develop in the city. So when they do get a charter school going, it's normally somewhere around 200 students in the school.
Mm-hmm.
So for it to be a class of 65, it sounds small, but when you think of a charter school, you figure that's 1/3 of the student population that should have been graduating. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, even okay, so even we dealing with the number 65, you would think maybe two or three maybe that wouldn't make it through and they would have to go to summer
Summer
school.
school,
But
exactly.
those numbers is, are astounding to think that many people didn't get through. So who do you blame? Do you blame and say, oh, it has to be the administration or the teachers, or where's the accountability piece with the student or the parents? Like it's a joint community effort that you have to get through. And I seen like some clips of some parents, and they were totally putting the blame on administration and the schools, the teachers.
Of course.
But anytime
Of
you have
course,
a
they're not going to take
portal,
the blame themselves.
anytime you have a
Exactly.
portal, anytime you have a portal with a parent, you can check that. And it doesn't matter if you work 2, 3 jobs, you have to take 5, 10 minutes, and you can set a designated time, a Saturday morning, to say, okay, let's check this portal to see where you at. And usually on the portal, it has the assignments that's missed, grades, and you can go from there. So it doesn't take that much time to do that. And for the whole year to go by and you have no idea, I can't check for that one. I'm not buying it. I'm
No.
sorry, I'm not buying it.
And one of the excuses that I don't know who was making the excuse, but it was a whole emphasis put on the the high suspension rate at the school. And listening to that, I'm like, okay, you got a high suspension rate, and if your child is sitting at home suspended more than once, and he at home and he's not doing schoolwork, he's playing video games, that's an indication right there that your child probably not passing nothing. So
Exactly.
these parents, they knew. They knew. It's not like even if they're at work, they know that child is sitting at home. He ain't doing no schoolwork.
Yeah. And that's true. And that's an opportunity when you're suspended, you have the ability to come back and ask your teachers, what did you miss? Or
Right.
sometimes they'll give you stuff ahead of time. If administration sends out an email, such and such will be suspended for 2, 3 days, please make sure you post work in whatever platform or portal that they're using. We use what we call Schoology. So
Hmm.
they have that ability to get that work done. But furthermore, just the
And the
language
parents
what
can
I was
request
hearing,
it too, can't they? Can't the
yeah,
parents request it?
can request it, and they have passwords too to be able to go on there any given time, so they don't have to just use their student account. They can go on there and check any given time, and to say, hey, what about I see you had a project in science and you got a 0. What's up with that?
Exactly.
So we got to take more accountability with this, and also with the language period of graduating. You don't graduate from kindergarten, you don't graduate from middle school, you get moved up. You graduate from high school and college. People need to stop saying that. I know it's an accomplishment, but check this out. As far as middle school, you can't stay in middle school forever. So eventually, you're gonna move on. So when I think about those students that didn't wasn't successful, have they been retained before? How old are they? So you have to think about the best interest of the child. So if they're 14, 15 years old, and say if they don't go to summer school and they have to come back to that building, is that appropriate for a 15-year-old?
Now,
Possibly
how
soon to be
many times?
16.
How many times can they be left in middle school, Dave?
Middle school, you should only be retained one time. Like if you
One
felt
time.
sixth
Okay.
grade, then you take it over again, you automatically would go on to the seventh, even if they didn't do anything. And some
Hmm.
kids, they understand the game and they'll say, well, I'm not going to do shit, whatever, because I'm going to go on to the seventh anyway. Or some kids don't do anything throughout the year and they say, oh, if I go to summer school, I can get moved up
I
to the
can make
next
it up.
grade. So
Yeah.
it's a game that, you got to be
And
mindful
I,
of.
I I used to hear kids say that too. Well, I'll just make it up in summer school.
eh,
And so of course they know the little game to play, and they think that I'm not going to do any work and I'll get past. I'll go to summer school, hang out with my friends, and I'll pass. But then the thing is, you might pass, but now you're in the next grade and you don't know nothing. You're not equipped to do the work that's required for that next grade up because you didn't do the work that was required to move on to that next grade.
Then also there's habits that form, and I always tell my eighth graders, like I got, we rotate years, so I have eighth graders this upcoming school year, and one of the first things I do is talk about high school credits and stuff. So I let
Hmm.
them know, like, listen, when you get to high school, it's a different ball game. You don't automatically just get moved to the next class. If you fail English 9, you will be taking English 9 until you pass it. And I
Exactly.
said, you need to have 21, 22 credit hours. So, all of that stuff is probably overwhelming to them. But then when I say, when you can be as old as 21 still in high school. And I said, now think about it. And
Yeah.
I'll ask them their age and they'll say, oh, I'm 13, I'll be 14. I said, so imagine a 20, 21-year-old grown ass man or woman in class with you, full beard,
Thank you.
whatever the case is, and they're in class with you. Isn't that kind of, as they say, creepy? And it's like, yeah, you can really be that old. I say, yeah, and that's the people who keep failing classes over and over and over. And some of them say, why don't they just drop out? I say, because some of them realize dropping out in this day and age, you're not guaranteed to get anything at all.
Hmm.
You won't get
Yeah.
no job like that unless you're working under the tables somewhere. But it's a lot,
Yeah.
and we have to all take accountability in this, and just to see people trying to blame the schools. Oh, the school definitely has a part, and you should have contact, send letters out,
Right. That's what
but
I
we
was
also know
thinking.
how
I
that
said
worked too.
the school should at least send out maybe what that after that third quarter sent out a letter saying this is just to make you aware that your son or daughter is on the verge of not moving up to the next grade.
Yeah, and usually you could do that after the second quarter. Then third
Oh,
quarter,
second quarter. Okay.
yeah, third quarter, that's when the heat is on, when you start maybe talking about it looks like they're going to either be retained or go to summer school. But we also
Right.
understand that game too, that if it's sent out in the mail and kids beat their parents home and they know, uh, with that, they see a letter from the school, more than likely they intercept it.
They're gonna snap
And
it, right? But at least if the school has done that, they've done their part. It's not their fault that the student took it. If that's the case, then they have at least that backup saying, hey, well, we sent the letter out. Now, as where did that letter go? Because it didn't come back to us.
yeah, you would send out robocalls and let parents know that they'll be receiving something in the mail
Okay.
regarding
So
that.
there's
So,
so there's a lot of resources available so these parents can know what's going on with their children. It's not
but
like this was some big surprise.
what happens is when you see the school number, you ignore it, or if it's those automated calls, you never click on it to hear what is
The
being
full
said.
message. Right.
Yeah, because you're so annoyed by, you might get a couple calls per day with those calls, but it's just to stay informed. So then you won't
Right.
have situations like this, because I think the bigger issue is now it's the summertime. Oh, my baby graduated. You're thinking about the
Hmm.
parties, the cards, the different things, celebration, and then you find out, oh, we got all these family members coming from out of town because
Exactly.
Tyreek supposed to be
Little John
graduating. Yeah.
John ain't do his work.
Yeah, but his ass ain't graduating. He just moving up. He just moving
Well,
up. That's
well, we gonna have a stay still party. That's what we gonna do.
so it's a lot to it, and that brings me, and I know Willie, you on your way to somewhere, but it brings me to the question, the national issue of only having 2% African American males as teachers, which is alarming too. That we don't have that representation for little black or brown boys in the schools because men are not going into that field. I wonder why.
Right. But if you think about it, if you really look at the history of teaching, men were never the teachers.
That's true.
If you really look at the history, men were never the teachers. It was always a woman's job to be the teacher, to be the rear, to be the the rear of the child, to prepare the child, for education, those kind of things. It was never. So when I hear people say that, well, you don't see any a lot of men teachers. No, you don't, because it's not really a man. That was never really considered a man's job to be the teacher in the classroom. But what I also said, and I've tried to do in some schools, and you find a lot of pushback from it, I said, why not have a program in your school where you invite men, fraternities, business groups that have men's business groups, doctor groups, there's all these associations and organizations that have men in them, professionals in them. Why not have a program in your school where you invite those people to come in once a month to talk to your students? So now they can see a doctor, they can see a lawyer, they can see a fraternity person going to college, and let them talk about, their experience before going to college and some of the struggles they may have had. And then also what it's like to be in college. How was it different from being in high school? Allow them to hear it from somebody closer to their age, but also it being a man, being a male person. So now that defeats that whole, well, there's no men teachers, right? But you have men available that you don't even take advantage of. So I don't go with that, because there has never been of influx of men going, I'm going to go to school to be a teacher. You very rarely hear that. Very rarely. Now in college you might hear it, because again, you're looking at professors. You know what I mean? You're going to be a professor. You do see male professors. Even in high school, you don't see a lot of male, because again, it's a teacher. You're not a professor, you're a teacher. And teaching has never been a male profession.
Now, let me read this comment.
When I hear people say, yeah, go ahead.
Let me read this comment. Charlene said, I had a teacher tell me she went to a couple of homes and the parents didn't care to talk about the child not doing well in class. And she also said, I don't play that summer school. You have to go to school in the summer. Consider your summer gone. And
exactly.
to go back to that, the teacher thing. And if you think about it now, because it's a push, I know in my school district, to try to recruit more. Men are just not going to knock down the doors to sign up to be a teacher. With the disrespect that goes on in the schools nowadays, because men, most men are authority figures, so, and they may have bass in their voice and stuff like that, but when you have children texting their parents, and then their parents undermining the teacher's authority by coming up there, and then want to get all up in someone's face and all that stuff, whatever. And man, like, I ain't about to deal with this crap, because ain't nobody gonna be in my face like this, and I don't care who it is. You could bring your mother, and you've seen videos where some teacher said, I don't care, you could call your daddy, your mother, whoever.
Exactly. I just saw that one. Yeah. But again, you got to look at what the role is. That is not a nurturing role for a man. A man is not a nurturer. It's not in his nature to be a nurturer. That is normally considered a woman's role, to be a teacher. That has never been considered a man's role, to go to school or go wherever and become a teacher. And so when you have these situations, they're saying, well, we're trying to recruit more men to be teachers. That's not a man's role, because like you said, a man is going to be aggressive. A man is going to, if he's confronted in the classroom, he's gonna step up.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be that he's going to be a man. A woman's role as the teacher, she's not confronting and getting into situations with students, even when students get aggressive with her.
Yeah, and
To
again, we always talk
calm the
about,
situation down.
yeah, and they're mostly, the voice or whatever, calming. Even as a counselor, you
Yes,
don't see too many male counselors, or especially black males, so it's
exactly.
kind of a rarity. And kind of my personality doesn't. I'm not a yeller or
Right. An
a
aggressive person
screamer,
towards them.
yeah.
Right.
But I will let them know, like, listen, go ahead with all that crap, or whatever the case is. So the ones that I have great relationships, they kind of know, oh, Mr. Glover not playing, he pissed, or whatever the case is. So again, we have shortages in these fields, whatever, but sometimes you got to let these people do their job. Now, don't get me wrong, there's always going to be teachers that's not good, there's going to be counselors that's not
Right.
good, like with any profession. But you can't automatically just want to run up to the school and come to the defense of your child, because you know your child better than anybody. And some of the stuff, I'll be shocked, like, damn, they full of crap, and you came running up here,
Yep.
came
And they
running
come
up
to
here.
defend them.
and
Yep.
and especially when you have teachers that got good data and all that stuff, and then they pull everything off, like, listen, on this date this happened, I gave them a pass, and they were gone for 20 minutes. Well, the parents gonna say, well, why didn't you call me then, or whatever the case. But not every little thing teachers have
I'm supposed to
time to
stop my
call
class
for.
and
Yeah.
call you.
So
Exactly.
they have a good record keeping skills, that you end up getting floored by some of the stuff that your child has been doing. And now you looking like shit, because there's been times they came to my office and the parent was like, you got me looking real stupid up in here. You got me looking real stupid. And that's what they do. They send stuff off by text message, and
Exactly.
parents come running up there. You have to be mindful and know your personnel, know your child. Like, man, I'm gonna deal with them afterwards. So I'm gonna, get the teacher's perspective, but I'm not gonna come on the, defensive side. Sometimes you just gotta hear everybody out. And again, sometimes kids, they're dead on. They're right about certain people, but something. And then there's times that they kind of exaggerate situations. So, I just really wanted to
And
come in and kind of talk about that.
sometimes you'll even see where when that parent shows up at the school, you see where the child gets it from.
Hmm. Yeah, I didn't
You know what I'm saying? You see
see
where
a lot of that.
where your child gets the behavior from.
Yeah,
The
so
parent comes into the school acting out, and you see exactly where the child gets it from, because the parent they get it right from the parent. The parent, what the hell? I'm sorry, I'm looking at this house. These people that I'm
yeah,
supposed to be looking at here.
yeah. Then even with
But yeah, man. I mean, I tell you, this is it's not going to get any better, because so many people now reluctant to become teachers, even females.
yeah, I've seen a lot of people
You even
drop
have
out.
females that are reluctant to become teachers. Yeah,
They
because
dropped out the
they
profession.
see how, yeah, they're like, I'd rather go into something other than this. Putting up with fighting kids and fighting parents, and and they're being under all this pressure to help these kids to be accomplished, when there's no motivation for them to do it.
Yeah,
These
I
kids
always
aren't
have.
motivated. They don't see any. These kids don't see a benefit to education. I say that all the time to people, and they look at me like I'm crazy. I said, you tell me what the benefit is to education for them. How are you showing them the benefit of it? And they don't. There's no. All they're doing is throwing information at them. They're not helping them to understand why this information is beneficial to you, how you use this in life. You know. And so I was doing a program the other day, on Tuesday, and we were talking about finances and business. And I got
Mhm.
excited. And the lady's like, why are you excited? Most people get nervous when we talk about numbers. I said, because I apply numbers. I learned how to do numbers because I applied it to money. And that's how I learned how to do math, because I said I applied it to how money works. So if five five times five, you give me $5 five times, I know I got 25. You know what I mean? So I was explaining to her, I said that's how I learned how to do math, because I applied it to something that meant, that was tangible to me, that I could understand.
Mm-hmm.
I said, and we don't do that in the classroom. We don't show kids how math, this is how you can use math to be beneficial to you. This is how history is beneficial to you. This is how whatever. This is why English and writing is beneficial to you. This is what you're going to need it for. If you run a business and you got to do contracts, you need to know what that contract says. You need to know, how to write your name, and all the benefits of whatever it is of that subject. So now the kids say, okay, this is why I need to do this. I want to start my own business, and if I got to read stuff, I'm gonna practice on my reading. I'm gonna practice my writing. You know what I mean? It gives them some kind of tangible understanding of why I need to do these things.
And one of the
And
things I
that's what I
always
do in
think,
my programs.
one of the things I always think about for me, and that's just for me, when I used to learn by teachers, I like the teachers that would tell like personal stories to give you a personal connection, so they can connect the curriculum with something
Mm-hmm.
personal. And it would be certain
Exactly.
points they would say that you will remember. But a lot of times these kids now, they're like, why you always bring up that telling these stories back in the days or this and that, and they don't want to hear that. And I'm like, man, y'all missing the whole message.
Exactly. They
Like,
missing the whole point of it. Right.
yeah.
But if you look
So
at it, those kids that are doing that are normally the kids that is part of that 17 and 65. That 48. That's that 48. The kids that don't want to hear the story. The kids that don't want to do the work. The kids that don't want to write, because of course they don't know how to write. They don't know how to, and they take cursive out of the classrooms. So now if you look at the penmanship of these kids, I it's sad. It's really crazy. It made me think about something that happened yesterday at practice. I was doing, I was telling a kid, a young lady, one of my runners, how I calculate what her 400 times should be.
mhm.
And I said, you run 28 seconds in the 200, right? I said, yes. I said, so you take your 28 and you double that. So 28 plus 28 is how much? And she looked at me, and then the other girl looked at me, and they said, what do you mean, how much? I said, 28 and 28. When you double that, how much is that? And they were like 40 something. And I'm like, 40 something? I said, add 28 and 28. And the one girl took and put her calculator on her watch, because she did not know how to, we grew up just, 28, 28 is 56. You know what I mean? She had no clue what to do. And I was like, I don't understand. They took some of the simplest things out of the school that we learned how to do, and now these kids are so reliant on computers and laptops and calculators. And I mean, I said, you don't know what 58, 28 and 28 is? And she was like, well, no, I can look on my phone and calculate it. And I said, all
it,
right. I said, and then add 3.5 onto that. And she's add it all together. And I'm like,
it's some of the basic foundations that they don't know how to do
yes,
because of technology, like tell what time it is on the clock and stuff like
right.
that
If
they
it's got
have.
the hands and not the
Yeah,
numbers, yeah. If it's a
they don't
digital,
have no
yeah,
idea how to do that, which is sad and alarming that we gain
we've moved so far
technology,
away from, we moved so far away from basic
the
understanding
basic
and
skills.
education. Yeah.
And one of the things I always remember, and we always used to call her, the first high school I worked at in Baltimore County. We used to call her the GOAT because she was the valedictorian. And once she had left the school and came back, I had a couple of them come back while they was in college, and we had like a little seminar of them to discuss some of the things, their high school experience. And the one thing she says, she doesn't really remember anything from school. And she is like,
Mm-hmm.
but what she did remember is the stories that I told her and a couple other African American black males had shared with her. So those were the guiding principles that she kind of used. She held on to our words and
Right.
our knowledge and our encouragement to help get her get her through. And now she's a doctor. Um,
Wow.
but it's just amazing. So the importance of relationship building and stuff like that in schools is also important, because if you got teachers that your kids respect and they look up to, they're going to work for them. They're going to put in work
Exactly.
in most
Exactly. Because
cases.
they want them to be proud of them.
Yeah, they want that approval.
Yep.
So
Yep.
in the same way with sometimes with kids with parents, they may want a certain parent's approval. It might be
Mm-hmm.
the one that wasn't, that's not active, but they want to show, like, look,
Right.
dad, look, mom, I'm doing
Yep.
good, I'm a good kid, or whatever the case
Exactly.
is. We live in a complex world with a lot of different things that is crazy. But
And
I
even
just,
and even to give a child incentives, like talk about, you buying kids sneakers and all this stuff that they want. Make that an incentive. If you do good in school, you'll get whatever it is. But don't tell me you flunking and getting suspended and all this stuff, and I'm still running out buying you new Jordans and whatever, new
mhm,
video games, rewarding you. There's no what's the word? No penalty
mhm,
for you not doing well in school. You know what I mean? There's no
yeah.
repercussions for you not doing well in school. You already know she's gonna get you what you want anyway. So, or he gonna get you whatever you want anyway. The parent gonna get you whatever you want because there is no penalty for you not doing well in school.
Yeah, then they have a rude awakening, where these kids who struggled at this charter school in Buffalo, when they get to high school, they're going to be a
Yep.
rude awakening, because their hands
Yep.
are not going to be held. Uh, Parents only can say so much, and then you totally, as a parent, you totally lose all control when they get to college. You can't
Oh,
come up there
definitely.
doing anything. You don't even have to know about it. Unfortunately, you might be paying some of the tuition, but kids, the students don't have to share that information with you. So a lot of times you won't know
Right.
anything.
You won't know
So
nothing until they call you and say, I'm graduating.
that's why one of the things the great Dave Ramsey, the financial guru, say, don't don't have no college savings for your kids. Make them earn it. Make them,
Yep.
they choose and dictate how much money, scholarship money, they can get. Don't put a life
Mm-hmm.
savings out like, oh, I was able to save up $75,000 I had in their fund for college. Then they go there. Then after 2 semesters, they get
They flunk
academically
out.
dismissed. Then what?
Yep.
That's $75,000 gone, and it's
Wasted.
nothing you could do. So
Yep.
think about that too.
You
Put
work.
that
You
money
work.
elsewhere.
I tell people. I said people, even in business, if you give somebody something free, they don't appreciate it. You're giving a kid a free education by, like you said, saving this money. They don't appreciate it. But if, like you said, if they had to work to get that money together, they're gonna do a lot more to make sure that money pays off. That it's not
Hmm.
wasted. When you
True.
when you do a service in your business for somebody and you charge them, that person paying for that, they're going to expect something because of because you're charging them. But if you're giving them
Hmm.
something free, they can back out. They can not even pay attention to what you're presenting. You know what I mean? It's no loss to them because it was free.
It's true.
And so
Straight
and that's how
facts.
and it's the same thing in education and just everything we do with kids. Like I said, rewarding them for doing good in school. You giving it to them
Hmm.
and they haven't earned it, which is passing their grades. Then okay, why do I need to pass? I'm gonna get it. They're gonna get it from me anyways.
Yeah, we're just doing stuff backwards anyway. Even when you think about Christmas and all that stuff, I can't not get them anything. I gotta get them
Yes, you
something,
can.
and you go
Yes,
broke,
you
and you
can.
go broke behind it, and then January hits, and you like, damn, I can't wait, waiting for your W-2s or whatever to come through.
Exactly. Waiting for the
But you didn't have to
taxes.
spend
Yeah.
all that money on Christmas and all that stuff because shit, it's a lot of falsehood, and I guess for some people it makes them feel good, like they've done something, but they don't know the harm that they may be causing down the road,
No,
or
I
the
think it's
beast
more
that
your
they're
first
creating.
statement. I think it's the guilt. I think it's the guilt of
Mm,
not getting them something. I don't think it's nothing about like, I think it's the guilt. Well, I gotta get them something. I don't want people to think we don't have money to get our kids nothing for Christmas. Man, forget all that.
yeah,
The
and that's
reason why they didn't get anything for Christmas is because they flunked all year long and I'm not rewarding them.
yeah, but on the other hand, Willie, a lot of people they can't understand that because what's the first thing happens when during the time when you talk to somebody? So what did you get on for Christmas? So people just
Nothing because
collecting
I didn't pass
data.
my classes.
They're
Nothing
collecting
because I didn't
data to
pass
see
my
what they got.
classes.
Yeah, if a kid's gonna own
You
up
know
and
what?
say that.
If you embarrass a kid long enough, man, they gonna get that stuff together.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
If you start them out with that embarrassment that they made that first year, that next year they gonna get something for Christmas because they gonna be like, oh, he must be good in school this year. You know what I mean? They ain't gonna want to keep saying, well, I ain't getting nothing this year either because I ain't do good in school. You start. It's what you start them off with. If I got rewarded and I didn't do good, and then I get rewarded the next year I ain't do good, what what's the penalty? There's no
yeah,
penalty.
really
You
not
you
teaching them
penalize them
anything.
that one time, they gonna think twice. They gonna think I need to at least do decent so I can get something to show for Christmas. I don't want people to be looking at me like he don't never get enough for Christmas because he don't do good in school.
Yeah, yeah, you got to make them feel shame and hit them on their
Man,
heads to feel something.
exactly. And people are so afraid. Well, I don't want people to think bad. Think we don't have money. Whatever. You worrying about what everybody else thinking, but then you stand on the news talking about your child is one of the 48 kids that didn't move up in 8th grade.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah,
rather I'd rather have them talk bad about me not getting my child something and him passing than to have to stand on TV explaining why I didn't my child ain't moving up.
yeah. That's true. And yeah,
Yeah,
now
you
you
got
got
to
a
be
lot.
tough with kids, man, and you got to be tough with kids because if you don't, this is what we have now. Like you have these situations, and somebody's talking about with the sports, everybody gets a trophy, everybody gets to play. What's the incentive? What's the motivation? I'm gonna get to play anyways. I'm gonna get a
Mhm.
medal anyways. I'm gonna get a trophy anyways. There's no motivation to be better, to put in the work on the basketball team if you know you're gonna get to play anyway.
Yeah, and
So you know what I mean?
that's
Everything is
unfortunate
a reward.
because
Yeah,
you're supposed to go to the lab in the summertime, work on your craft, and come back better. But
redder. Exactly.
if you have
Exactly.
people sending out the message, oh, just make sure everybody gets equal playing time
Yeah.
and stuff like that,
Yeah.
these kids want to win. I remember
Yeah.
this one time I was coaching, and that message was thrown out to me. You got to make sure you give them. So I tried to come up with a creative lineup that I would always have a couple scorers out there and stuff. Then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people don't show up, or more kids show up that day, and you're like, damn, this kid never come. Now they done messed up my damn
Yep.
rotation.
Mess up your
But
lineup.
I put a kid in, and then I took him out like in the first minute or so, and then like, Coach David, why did you take me out? And I said, because you weren't doing anything out there. Like you got to be doing
Thank
something.
you.
You ain't got to make baskets. You got to rebound. You got to catch the ball. You
Yeah.
can't be afraid. And then I was like, I said, don't you want to win? We're trying to win. And then it's like, are you saying that because I was out there, we were not going to win? So of course I had to
See,
humble myself and
that's
kind
why
of
you don't
walk
get
away.
into conversations. You don't get into conversations and explanations with them.
Yeah,
What I
true.
what I normally do with my kids if they're not doing something and I know they're not good, I say, well, you know what we'll do this week when you come to practice, I put it on them. This week when you come to practice, we'll work on the skills you need so that way the next time you play, you'll be able to stay in the game longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
all on you. It's all on you. Come to practice, do the skills, stay in the game longer.
and,
You know what I'm saying?
and in cases like that, that's where when you're doing youth basketball, that's why it helps to have a second person along with you helping, so they can be the ones that kind of can
And take the fall.
counsel those kids while they're on the bench. But with you, the head coach, you just like trying to keep everything moving and trying to
Yeah,
win, because
yeah,
kids want to win. And the message that we send out, oh, it's all about fun. There's never been,
yeah.
you never have fun losing. When you're a
That's what they're
competitor, you
doing.
never have
That's what
fun.
they're doing in these sports now. And they're even doing it in track and field. There's no timing. We're not going to time it because we don't want a child to feel bad about running slow. They don't even ran slow. They in last place.
Yeah,
We don't want them we just don't want them to know the time. All this kind of stuff. So I mean, it's all about feel good mentality. And where do you think the feel good mentality came from? That kid who was in school years ago, who wasn't picked for the basketball team, who wasn't picked to play kickball on when he went out for lunch, who wasn't good at sports, so they never got to play. So now they get older and they get in these positions where they can say, well, now I think everybody should get to play. I think everybody should get a medal.
yeah, make a lot of
Former
sense.
former pro star. Yeah, you don't see former pro basketball and high school champions saying, I think everybody should play. I think everybody should get a trophy. Hell no. The people you hear saying that, if you ask them what their background is or in sports and activities, they didn't do none of that stuff. Well, I was on the chess team. Well, I played the trombone in the band. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing competitive.
Hmm.
Nothing competitive. And so, I mean, it started long before now, Dave, but now the effects of what they started is starting to show.
Yes,
You take
definitely.
all this stuff away, and now you got these kids that are just falling. And of course, the minority students are the ones that fall the hardest because we were already put in situations where education was made not important to us or not seen as a benefit to us, you know, to be beneficial to us. And if you had a parent that was educated, of course, you had that enforcement at home. But if your parent was raised a teen mother who had to drop out or, in and out of school because she was raising a child at 14 and 15 years old, that incentive to have an education is not there because it was never something that was instilled in her.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If you had a horrible experience as a parent, you
Right.
you already gonna take the side of the child
Of
and
the child, right.
come up with excuses, or oh, I used to go to that school, they ain't shit, whatever. That school
Yep.
suck and all that.
Yep.
It's not the school. The school is just the building. It's the people
Exactly.
inside that make it
Exactly.
great. Just like when you have the arguments are like, oh, it's so I hate Niagara Falls, I hate Buffalo, Baltimore is bad. These are just landmark cities. It's the people there, the
That's
characters
in
and
there.
stuff like
That's
that
right.
that make it. So can't blame it and say, well, I can't wait to get up out of here, because you may run into the same situation
Somewhere else.
somewhere
Because
else. So
yeah, because you're changing your environment, but you're not changing your mindset.
yeah,
You're not changing your behavior. So you're going to another school, but you're still going to that next school, still not doing homework, still getting suspended, still arguing with the teacher, mama coming in defending you. None of that has changed. You just changed locations where you're doing it.
yeah, and I know people don't like to hear this, but that's why I call myself the controversial counselor. Even
Man,
this whole Section 8 type of stuff, whatever. You coming from a bad place, then you get into a new place, but you, like you said, Willie, still bringing them same
the
behaviors.
same
Now you done
same
jacked up
behaviors.
this whole damn community,
Yep,
this whole street, your kids, and then they going into the schools causing disruptions and bringing that down without a parent
exactly.
ever saying, listen, we getting a brand new start. Don't go
Yep.
here with your
We're gonna
bullshit.
take
This is some
advantage
new.
of
We're
this,
gonna have
right?
different neighbors. They're not gonna tolerate stuff that
Yep.
Tyrone
They
did two
don't they
doors
don't know
away.
your past. They don't know what you did at the other school. So this is a new start for you to come in with a new attitude and do well in school. Nope, that's not the speech. That's not the speech they hearing.
Yeah,
And it's crazy. It's sad. It's crazy. It's I don't know, man. It's just I mean, it's so much with the educations of our youth these days. And like I said, I just think that yesterday when I asked that, what is 28 and 28? And they just looked like deer in headlights. Like, what do you mean? What's 28 and 28? I said, what's 28 plus 28? 40 something? Are you kidding me? I said, add it up. They're like, what do you mean add it up? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, I got my calculator. Hold on. What?
Yeah, that's supposed to be locked in your head memory, just with
Exactly. But they don't teach
those
that.
whole charts and stuff that we used to have to do that you had to eradicate. And me, like anything with 7 back in the days, because I was in the football, I would already know 7, 14, 21, 28. You just knew from
Exactly.
playing football.
Right.
Besides, if you miss an extra point, but when you grew up, playing like rec sports and stuff, and when you automatically got 7 points for a touchdown, you already knew
Exactly.
that number, the sevens. If you didn't know anything, you would know
Exactly.
what that
And that's
added
what
up.
I'm
So
saying. You knew how to add those numbers up. You knew how to like write in your mind. You didn't need to go, well, let me get my calculator, see what the score gonna be. And you look at that and the stuff that we like, even as adults nowadays, we take for granted that we know this stuff. But then when we listen to the children that are out here now, and they don't know the basics of what's four times four, what's eight and plus eight, and you look at them like, what do you mean you don't know 8 plus 8? What do you don't know 20 divided by 10? You don't know what that is. What do you mean you don't know what 20 divided by 10 is?
it, it again. Like you said, it's so many different things. Not only, like I say,
Man,
not only
so many.
academic, socially, even something as small as you at work and a kid come barge into your office and you on the phone. Like, oh, hold on, you don't knock. But remember,
Thank you.
They don't knock in their parents'
Not at home. That's
bedroom. They
right.
just bust in there, and next thing
Yeah.
you know, Uncle Tyrone, I thought he was my uncle, but damn, my mother legs up here spread eagle and shit. I know, I had to slide that one in, and
Exactly.
without knocking on the
Exactly.
door, so they just think that's natural to do. Or when
Yep. To
somebody's on the
walk in.
phone,
Yep.
that means automatically, okay, be quiet. Now you don't still get your point off, but hell, I can't blame that on kids. It's even adults. They can see you on the
Right.
phone and still talking like, do you not see
But
me with a
but
phone up to my ear?
yeah. But we even talked. I think we even talked about that in the show one night. How when grown people were in the room talking, the kids weren't in the room. You got
Nah.
kids sitting right there in the conversation, listening, dancing, talking, adding they 2 cents. It's like, okay, wait a minute, shouldn't that child be somewhere else so we can have a conversation?
Yeah.
And that's why these kids are growing up with this adult, not mentality, but adult mindset, not mentality, because they don't have mental adult mentality, but it's that mindset of, I get to sit and talk with the adults and listen to adult conversations, so I know what I'm talking about because I heard my mama say it and my daddy say it and my cousin say it and all this other stuff. So now they get into, and they talk to you like they're an adult.
Yeah, and that reminded me years ago. It was some kid, and we were talking, and she was like, "Man, I can't wait to my mother get her income tax.
Oh, Jesus.
She got, and I think she even went to even like earn income credit and stuff like that. I'm like, what the hell you know about this stuff, whatever? Well, my mother told me she was getting more money this year. I said, where's
Yeah,
the damn mother sharing all
exa-
this stuff with a damn
exactly.
kid, whatever? A sixth grader, I think, at that time. And I
Thank
was
you.
like, wow,
Yeah, but
wow.
that is that, and think about it, that's normal, basic conversation that these kids are hearing nowadays. We
Mm.
had no idea where our parents got their money from.
Yeah, I didn't even know about no tax season or anything.
Taxes. We
Yeah.
know they went to work. We didn't know where they worked. We know they went to work. I know our bills was paid and we had food to eat, but to know about taxes and earned income and all that, please. Our job was to go to school, come home, do our chores, and go outside and be home when the street lights came on.
Yeah, and I think some parents probably use it now as more of a pacifying mechanism like, oh, don't worry, mommy and I'm taking my babies on vacation when I get my
Yep. I don't want
taxes
you to
and
want for
stuff like
nothing.
that.
Yep.
So
I don't
that's
want my kids to want for nothing like I did when I was a child. But
yeah.
that wanting that you had motivated you to do things so you wouldn't have to want. There's no
Mm,
motivation for these kids to do anything because they get what they want, whether they do anything or not.
mm. Yeah.
Man, I gotta get. I'm supposed to be doing
Yeah, I
some
know
more.
we get to talking, whatever, but thanks for joining. So you
Hey,
see how we do it on Monday nights. It just be a more of a elevated conversation because we have more people. But
exactly.
thanks for stopping
Hey
by
man,
today,
thanks for
Willie in the
inviting
Counselor's
me.
Corner.
I
Oh, no
enjoyed it.
problem. I'll
All
connect
right,
with
have a
you.
good one.
All right, you
Later.
too. Peace. All right, folks, we out. So just wanted to bring that up. Wish more people could have joined in, but again, I'm not used to coming on here other than my scripted Monday. They're not scripted, but that's usually when I have the show. I broadcast, I advertise for it, and stuff like that. Do Instagram, TikTok videos, but now it's more of just doing some impromptu videos coming on, and I call them counselors' concerns and just talk about it. So stay tuned. Never know what the next one is. I'm done for the day. I promise I'm not coming on here today. But then again, who knows? All it takes for me is to walk outside and go to the store and see something alarming or something that resonated in my head, and I might say to myself, I got to go to the take that to the airwave. I got to take it. I got to take it there. But nevertheless, everybody have an amazing. What's the day? Thursday. Amazing Thursday. Feel free to like and share the video. And if you're not subscribed to the Controversial Counselors channel, please subscribe. It's not hurting anyone to subscribe. You get notifications. If you don't want to be bothered, then you don't do it. I don't know what the big issue is of subscribing to something. But I bet you if I said if you're subscribing, you're gonna get a free watch sent in the mail or some coupons or something like that. You know me, I always gotta talk shit. You'll do it. So it's not hurting anybody. Everybody's trying to build their platform. And when one person builds a platform, it helps other people build theirs. That's the way people do it. You have one that if you look at the LeBron, and then I'm about to go look at the LeBron James model that he was then Dr. King, and he had his boys. When he got put on and he started making big money, they brought their crafts into it. So now you have each of them all doing different things. One of his boys, Rich Paul, is like the agent for LeBron and several other big time players. They're all eating good. We can all eat good. We got to help. We got to stop fighting with each other and saying, "Oh, I don't want to help them get nowhere." So we cutting each other's throat, and we're all still staying in the same position instead of working to build. Some people may be further along than you may be. It's okay to help them because I can guarantee you, if you help them and they know you helped them, they're going to come back and they're going to look out and they're going to build you up too. Well, that's what people with a good heart and who has understanding of how certain things work. So that's a whole nother conversation. Actually, that's a whole talking point right there. So I'm out. Again, everybody enjoy the rest of your week. Hopefully I'll see you on Monday night. Uh be great. Stay alert. Stay alert. That's all I gotta say. All right, peeps. I'm out. Talk to you soon. Peace.